No.
All right, Jeremy, I think you're good to go.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Before we start the meeting, I would like to read a land acknowledgement. The land on which we meet has been here from time immemorial. People have inhabited southern Ontario for about 10,000 years, and we acknowledge the neutral people, also called Attawandarun, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee people who lived here when settlers arrived and who shared this land with us. May we together learn to care for and respect each other, our flora and fauna, and the land we inhabit together. I will remind the committee and members of the public that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed to the Township's YouTube channel. Anyone who registered to participate in this meeting will be invited to speak in the order of the applications being heard. I will now do a roll call of the committee and staff for the benefit of the public watching this meeting. When I call your name, please wave at your camera and say here or present. I, Jeremy Karn, am present and chairing this meeting. Committee members, Linda Dixon.
Present.
Chris Fletcher.
Present.
Stephen Hartman.
Present.
Charles Ziedler.
Here.
And staff, Sherwin Maloney, Planner.
Present.
Jeremy Vink, Manager of Planning.
Present.
Aaron Wetzel, Alternate Secretary Treasurer.
Present.
And Nancy Thompson, Secretary Treasurer.
Present.
Thanks. I will now provide an explanation of the procedures for this meeting. Each application will be read by Aaron, and she will ask each applicant to make a brief presentation not to exceed 5 minutes. The committee will be given an opportunity to question the applicant. Any other person who has registered with the recording secretary and is wishing to address an application either for or against will then be given an opportunity to speak. Please make sure you have turned on your microphone and video and identify yourself clearly for the recording secretary. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the committee will make a decision on the application. Once discussion on your application is complete, please mute your microphone and turn off the video. You are free to leave the meeting at this time or remain and listen to the balance of the applications. The applicants are advised that each application has a 20-day appeal period as required under the Planning Act. In accordance with Bill 23, appeals may only be submitted by the applicant, the municipality, certain public bodies, and the minister. The last day of appeal for the applications heard today is January 3rd, 2024. At this time, I will ask if any members of the committee, if they are declaring a pecuniary conflict of interest with any of the applications. Seeing none, Aaron, could you please read the first application?
First application is for minor variance, application A30-2023 for Habib Mohammadi for the property at 1343 King Street North in St. Jacobs. It is zoned residential medium density R3 with a residential building containing 5 apartment units, and there were minor variance approvals A17-2022 and A6-2023. The applicant is requesting permission to expand the legal non-conforming apartment use with an increase to the 5th apartment unit from 54 square meters to 74 square meters. The applicant is proposing a 3.05 meter by 6.04 meter addition to the rear of the 5th apartment unit, which is currently under renovation. The property is located at the corner of King Street North and Princess Street West.
Thanks, Aaron.
And I was saying we've got the agent Mahar Shafi here, as well as the owner Habib Mohammadi here, if you would like to begin.
Thank you, Aaron. May I start?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Awesome, thanks. Thanks a lot for the intro. I think you covered most of the important pieces of this file. So I'm Mahyar Shafi. I'm the president of MBHF Engineering Solutions. We have been retained, in this project to be providing architectural and structural design for this 50 unit. And then as a part of this, I'm also involved in the Committee of Adjustment Minor Variance. It's a pleasure to be here talking to you, everyone. Thanks for your time. So this project is basically building the 5th unit in a multi-residential complex. There's already 4 units there, and then the 5th unit was approved by the committee in 2 previous Committee of Adjustment meetings. There was a couple of issues with contractors that resulted in the needs for redoing a lot of the work done so far on this unit. So the homeowner is here, Habib is here. He can add to what I'm gonna explain now if there's anything needed to be added. But the homeowner is at the stage that he's got a partially built fifth unit, and there was a lot of things that had to be demoed, kind of financial burden on him. And then when I got involved, he was just asking if, what is my recommendation about this unit? I thought that, it's a kind of, habitable and good size unit. But there was a discussion between us that maybe if there's the stairs that goes from the main unit to the main level to the basement, maybe the basement area, which is actually not underneath the entire flat, is just kind of half of the flat. Maybe he can use that as a storage. The height of the basement is not sufficient for making it habitable space, but it's sufficient to use it as storage. So then we thought about maybe extending the existing approved square footage so that we can fit the staircase in the addition, so that he can have access to the basement. And because of that, there's also the chance of maybe moving bathroom to there, and then adding a bit of a space to the living room in the main level. So originally, this was a kind of one level fifth unit. I have to say that it's just non-conforming. So the use of the lot, in terms of zoning, it's R3, but we have the fifth non-conforming unit approved for this. So originally it was main level, just one level, and then with kitchen, living room, and two kind of small bedrooms. But with this extension, he can actually put the stairs there, make the living room a bit bigger, and then to a kind of decent sized bedroom. It's a really good, after building the addition, it's going to be a really decent size unit. I think it's going to provide accommodation for a family really well. And if you look at the report, even after the addition, everything is within the kind of legal setbacks. We're not encroaching into any setbacks. So the minor variance is only for approving this extra square footage, which has to be done under minor variance application. This is what I have to talk about this project, but if Habib wants to add anything, I think I'll leave the floor for him.
Sounds like that's good. Maybe we'll turn it over to the committee if there's any questions for either of the representative or the applicant. I actually have one question. Either one of you can answer this.
Sure.
So there's a condition here on the parking spaces, and I see in the diagram it's counting the 2 parking spaces inside the garage. But I also noticed somewhere in the comments that a previous application was for the conversion of that garage. So are there currently 2 parking spaces actually available inside of the garage currently? Or where are the 5 parking spaces going to be on the property?
So if you look at, I have a drawing there that shows 5 parking spaces. There's 2 parking spaces to the right of the 5th unit and 3 to the left of the 5th unit. So those 2 on the right, they are enclosed. There's a kind of indoor garage, so that fits 2 cars. And then there's 3 outside paved parking spaces on the left. So there's combination of these two.
That garage is still it's not like living
Yes.
space, it is a garage. Okay,
It is a garage, yes.
perfect. Thank you. Habib, do you have something to add to that? You're just muted, sir.
Hello.
Hello. There we go.
I-
That's better.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Actually, the parking lot, which is outside the parking lot, is for parking. With plus the garage is two. I have 6, which is always I have 1 extra as well. I don't have any issue with the parking. That's I want to carry from there. I don't have any issue with the parking. I have a 6 parking. If sometime getting a visitor or extra car there, still we are okay.
Okay. I just wanted to check that about the garage. Any other questions from any of the committee members? Don't see any. Aaron, do we have anyone here to speak on this?
No, there is nobody registered from the public.
Perfect. Any other questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, how would the committee like to handle this application? Charles.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'll move a motion that minor variance application A30 2023 concerning the subject property municipally addressed as 1343 King Street North, St. Jacobs, requesting permission to expand the 5th unit of an existing legal non-conforming apartment in the residential R3 zone from 54 square meters to a total floor area of 74 square meters, be approved subject to condition A. The expansion is consistent with the submitted floor plan dated October 25th, 2023, drawing A5 prepared by MBHF Engineering Group, and B, that all required parking spaces conform to zoning bylaw requirements regarding their size and location.
Thanks. Seconder, Linda, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call for a vote on the motion and ask the committee for a show of hands. All those in favor? That's everyone, so no one opposes. The motion is passed. I want to remind the applicant that the last day of appeal expires on January 3rd, 2024. Thank you for participating in the meeting, and please remember to mute your microphone and turn off your video. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And Aaron, if you'll read the next application, please.
All right, consent application B7 2023 for Michelle Shannon for the property at 1189 Weeby Place. It is zoned agriculture A with site-specific regulations, section 26.1.386, and contains a single detached dwelling and a farming operation. The applicant is proposing to sever an irregular shaped portion of land, being approximately 5.4 hectares in area, and convey it as a lot addition to the rear of the adjacent property located at 1094 Northfield Drive. The proposed severed lands are vacant. The proposed retained lands are approximately 34 hectares in area and contain a single detached dwelling and farming operation. This application, together with consent application B8 2023, will convey a total land holding of 9 hectares to the property at 1094 Northfield Drive for the future development of a livestock barn. And we do have with us Bob Black. Oh, I've lost my sheet. On behalf of the applicant, if Bob would like to discuss.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, members of the committee. My name is Bob Black. I'm a planning consultant in Elmira, representing Michelle Shannon and also Weber Land Limited, who is Isaac and Miriam Martin. These 2 applications sort of go hand in hand in an effort to provide John G. Weber, who lives at 1094 Northfield Drive, with some additional land that he can eventually build a new dairy barn. His farm, if you know, traveling on Northfield Drive into Conestoga from line 86, is to the right or to the west, and it's very close to Northfield Drive. To expand the barn would require reduction in MDS because they cannot meet the MDS requirement. They have children who are interested in continuing with the dairy operation. He milks cows there. And to meet the MDS, they're looking at acquiring both these properties to expand his lot area to approximately 51 hectares, with the ability then to build a new barn at some point in time when the next generation is ready to continue, with access out to Weeby Place. The severance from Michelle Shannon, which is B7, will reduce the undersized farm parcel a little further to 34 hectares. Not the case with Weberland. Their severance of 3.6 hectares. The retained parcel will still be above the minimum 40 hectare farm size. So there was no rezoning application necessary for Weberland, but we have processed one for 1189 Weeby Place, which is Michelle Shannon's property. And it has been approved to legalize the lot size at 34 hectares. And the justification study that I submitted has been supported by township staff and also the region, that it will remain as a viable farming unit. The planning report that has been submitted briefly outlines the application quite well, actually. And I don't think I have any more to add to it other than we have no objection to the conditions that have been attached to the severance application. And we will make sure that the region receives their $350 review application fee shortly after this meeting. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Bob. Long time no see. Still can't see you, but that's okay.
Well, maybe it's better. Sure.
Anyways, with respect to the property line that is shown on the one drawing and the proposed severance area, and actually it's for B7, and I wanted to know why you are not following the actual lot line, the existing lot line in that area.
The reason we're doing that is the river, the creek actually provides a more natural boundary, and it can be easily farmed up to the boundary of the creek. To get to the other side, it's not impossible, but we just felt that it would be more contiguous to be left with Michelle Shannon's property instead of the property line. It would further reduce the retained parcel below 34 hectares, and that's sort of why we went with the natural severance of the creek.
It just leaves an awkward, skinny parcel on the opposite side of the creek. And so I was just wondering whether or not there was any interest from the other parcel that's up to the one beside B7, that if there was an opportunity there to push off then the creek bed on the other side to that farm parcel.
There could be. Actually, the planning report identified that may in fact or could happen in the future. I don't represent those people to the north, nor have I talked to them about acquiring that, but that's something that could be pursued after this application is dealt with.
And is there any particular reason why towards Weeby you have not taken the land all the way to the road in that particular corner? Or is that where the driveway is for the old, for the existing dwelling, etc.?
No, the lot frontage actually, the property line actually follows that line. Okay,
so that's the existing line.
Yeah, so we just followed it to Weeby Place.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none. Aaron, anyone to speak on maybe either of these applications?
No, nobody is registered.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? How would the committee like to handle this application? Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will move that consent application B7 2023 concerning the property known municipally as 1189 Weeby Place for the purpose of severing an agricultural parcel of land and adding it to 1094 Northfield Drive East be approved subject to the 6 conditions as laid out in the staff planning report.
Thanks. Seconder? Charles? Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I will call a vote on the motion and ask the committee for a show of hands. All those in favor? I see 4, so that's everyone, so no one is opposed. The motion is passed. I want to remind the applicant that the last day of appeal expires on January 3rd, 2024. We'll skip the thank you part, and maybe Aaron, if you want to read B8.
Absolutely. All right. Consent application B8 2023 for Weberland Inc. The property is a parcel of vacant land at the corner of Weeby Place and Sawmill Road. The current use or zone is agricultural A and vacant land, and the applicant is proposing to sever an irregular shaped portion of land being approximately 3.6 hectares in area and convey it as a lot addition to the rear of the adjacent property located at 1094 Northfield Drive. The proposed severed lands are vacant. The proposed retained lands are approximately 40 hectares in area and are vacant. This application, together with consent application B7 2023, will convey a total land holding of 9 hectares to the property at 1094 Northfield Drive for the future development of a livestock barn. And again, we have Bob Black here on behalf of the applicants, and we also do have representatives from Weberland Inc.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Bob Black again, who's representing Weberland Limited, who is Isaac and Miriam Martin. This property is beyond the 40 hectare size for a farm, and the severance of this parcel will still have it meeting the minimum lot size for a farm. So there was no requirement for a rezoning on this part of our application for conveyance to John G. Weber at 1094 Northfield Drive. The only thing, I guess, that we did do with this application based on the Conservation Authority comments was that we did increase the lot frontage along Weber Place so that the new driveway, when it does become required, would be outside of the 336 elevation line that the Conservation Authority provided to us, but that it would not be outside of their regulated area. So what that means is that when the driveway would be required, there would be an application not only to the township for an access permit, but also to the Conservation Authority through the regulated area. The regulated area is not that far off of the Weeby Place right of way, but it will actually go and encroach onto it. Other than that, the conditions we have looked at and are satisfied with them, and we will make sure the region receives their review fee shortly after the meeting. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Thanks. Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, any other general questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, I will ask the committee how they'd like to handle this application. Linda, the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just bear with me. I Just skimming some of those comments based on Bob's discussion here. So I move, where is it? Here it is. I move that consent application B8 2023, Weberland Limited concerning the property located at the corner Weeby Place and Sawmill Road for the purposes of severing about an area of 3.6 hectares to be conveyed to 1094 Northfield Drive East be approved, again, subject to the 6 conditions as set out in the staff planning report.
Thank you. And a seconder? Stephen? Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call for a vote on the motion and ask the committee for a show of hands. All those in favor? And that's everyone, so no one is opposed. The motion is passed. I want to remind the applicant that the last day of appeal expires on January 3rd, 2024. Thank you for participating in the meeting, and please remember to mute your microphone and turn off your video. Thank you.
Just wanted to thank the members of the committee and wish them all a happy Christmas if we don't see them again or talk with them again. I mean, thank you very much.
Thank you. Same to you. Right, that's the last application. So approval of minutes. Have the committee members had an opportunity to review the minutes as circulated for the previous meeting held on November 13th, 2023? And if so, are there any changes required?
No, they were good. They were detailed in terms of our discussion on the one application. So thank you.
Excellent. So I just need the motion.
I would move.
Stephen, seconder, Chris, and all those in favor? That's everybody. So the minutes are approved. Is there nothing further to discuss? I will declare this committee of adjustment meeting. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Chris, I see your hand.
So just one thing, and I think there was an attempt in one of the attachments to the document that we got today to redact a certain amount of personal information. In the redacting, it's the letter that came with respect to the first application. In the redacting, I can still see that phone number.
Okay.
So it's
Good to know.
I don't know if you need to get a redacting pen or something, but
I did
technically
that one before I scanned it, so I can do it in the PDF itself, which would take it out a lot cleaner. I honestly didn't inspect it that closely, so thanks, Chris.
yeah,
I'll watch that in the future.
And I could see that there was another number. I can't remember if it was an address number or what it was,
Okay.
but up
Yep.
above. So
Okay.
just be mindful of those issues.
Yeah, I'll do that in the PDF next